Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to the letter! Alright, previous episode, a quick glance at what happened. The storm had started in earnest when Ashton arrived at the mansion. While trying to find a way in, the detective noticed the eerie silence that had enveloped the place. Something was wrong inside, but before he could figure it out, the sobs of women suddenly echoed. And next, after his fall, Ashton found himself in an underground passage when he came to. There he encountered Marianne McCullough. Not McLaughlin, he said before, who got trapped in one of the jail cells for several days. The detective managed to free her, and in turn she helped him find a way into the mansion. Alright, we'll leave the door open, in case there's a need for a quick exit, especially after she mentioned it's only by chance she has been able to open the door last time. We can't waste time finding the switch again. On the occasion something goes horribly wrong.
You know, but on the other hand, you remember where you heard the noises from? You also that way allow that someone to enter the mansion.
Anyway, there's bound to be. With me feeling this high-strung and tense, I'm not even sure why I thought it would be a good idea to enlist McCullough's help. Although she has been quite helpful so far, I can't shake off the horrible feeling something is going to happen to her if she stays with me. Oh shit. Hopefully not, even if I'm her safest bet if she wants to get out of this place alive.
You really believe that, don't you?
Did you say something?
McCullough pauses mid-step, turning to me, confused.
I didn't.
You sure? I just heard...
Don't you think I'll be the first person who'll know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. You might want to hurry. I just want to be done with this place.
See? You dragged another one.
Say what? What do you mean? This time I'm sure. There's really a voice. Well, voices. Despite the look of protest McCullough shoots me, I find myself stopping and looking for it, searching the image surrounding for the familiar form of the woman. I don't even have to venture too far from where I'm standing. Just an arm's length away from me, mirror shards litter the floor. And right on the biggest fragments. They speak. Wait, are you kidding me? All sing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting the echo throughout the small undercroft. Murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, deriding, placing venom into every crevice in my head. Taunting me.
You dragged another person into this, Ashton.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
All because you can't fix them on your own. You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
My mistake lies in the first instance I once word. Every second denial has slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to protect and rouse my temper. Despite knowing they are merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable trickled to me, spurring the guilt I hope I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time? Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps?
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder, to know you're responsible for all of this?
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late, and you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring the right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together. No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. Some son you are. You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
I hate this. I hate how this monster can get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity it knows. To hear it said in my friend's voice, even more so. But what I hate above all of this is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to say it anymore.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore!
In the end, your own incompetence will eventually lead to the deaths of everyone you care about.
It laughs, sharp and piercing, as it sounds in me snaps, a rage hastily furling and red filling in my vision, and the next thing I know I'm raising my hand and... Something drops at my wrist, followed by a buzz as another voice breaks through the haze.
Don't listen to it!
The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every sense. All at once there is the deafening silence. Slowly become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and a hand holding onto my wrist as if to keep me from hurting myself. In my hands a shard, blood drips from where it has cut my palm, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even, there is pain, however, a different kind, an ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound but where every single word has hit. When I glance up at Makolo, she merely stares me with wide, horrified eyes.
Don't listen to it! No matter what happens, don't do what it says! It's how it gets us.
My grip on the shard falters, but only after I note and drop it entirely does she release her grip. Afterwards, she simply steps back and looks away. Hugging her arms closer to herself, she breathes a sigh. Heavy. Perhaps with her own guilt. What this monster might have used against her.
Come on, we're getting close.
But you are going in the end? She walks off without another comment, but there's a worry in her as she gives the fragments one last glimpse. On the ground, they lie, lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults, but even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey. You are going to die.
And you are going to die alone!
A fear. One that has been long kept in the darkest place in my heart. One that a small part of me wishes for. The trapdoor swings open without much fuss. It isn't even locked, probably left open for when Wright asks for some midnight snack. I make sure the coast is clear, of course, before I put myself and help Makolo up. The butler of theirs is nowhere to be seen. He's probably sleeping, attending to his master, or doing some extra late-night work before turning in for the night. Meanwhile, Wright won't touch anything to do with menial chores, not even with a 10-foot pole. It's next to impossible for him to linger here. No servants. No anyone. And just as easy as that, we're in. Gently I close the hatch. If things go well, the same path will be our way out. If our luck doesn't hold, that's not an option now, is it? I have people waiting for me. I really don't want to think what might happen. Sometimes it's best if we simply revel in the little victories. Rather great blessings when everything else is going against you. And in a place like this, fraught with unknown dangers, it's a feeling that lasts only but a second. Suddenly a sob. Ring out from some distant part of the house, echoing through its empty halls. Beside me slumped to the ground, pale and breathing heavily. Makolo immediately tenses. Her eyes goes wide, and she grips the side decanter with force that might be enough to crack it if only she has the strength. As it is, she can barely stand. She hasn't fully recovered. Makes sense of the 3 or more days without proper food or water. You are in the kitchen still, and it's this weakness that puts the fear in her eyes. She's aware. If something happens, if there's a need to run, she won't be able. She's a liability at this point.
Holmes, I really don't think going any further is a good idea. Look at this place. Everything seems fine. Nothing's off. Maybe we should just go? I really don't like the sound of that.
You really don't have to come with me. Just until the kitchen, yeah? We're already here. You've done your part. From here on, I'm going on my own.
Yes, I said that, but
Can you even stand?
She doesn't answer.
You'll only be putting yourself in more danger if you follow after me. You have an easy way out of here. Stay here. Once you're okay, I need you to get yourself out of this place.
what? I'm not going to leave you!
Well, I'm not taking you with me either, lady. So it's here or out there.
You really are mad, aren't you?
Probably all will be, if no one fixes this little curse problem we have.
You think you'll find something in here? This is just a mansion, for God's sake!
Maybe. It's worth a shot. Besides, if what we're hearing right now says anything, I'd say scumbags.
Who?
Right. He might be knee-deep in trouble and he has no idea about it.
McCullough still appears as she's about to argue, so instead of more words, I unholster my taser and hand it to her. A standard issue for every member of Lockburn police force, but it shouldn't take a genius to know how to aim and fire one. Even Isabel may just be able to use it without training. I think that was offensive for her. Yet, Miss Interior Designer Extraordinaire stares at it as if I've just handed her something particularly nasty.
Listen, you want to wait? Fine. I'm leaving this with you. But if I don't come back here within 15 minutes, I want you to backtrack and get the hell out of here.
Are you daft, Holmes? I already told you!
In case something goes wrong, I need someone who can tell people what's going on. Who can tell my friends what might have happened here. They're at the crawl. You know the place, right?
I turned off, letting the meaning of any words hang in the air. I want to be optimistic about this. Really. However, I'm going against something almost everyone can't quite understand. I'm just being realistic with my chances. McCall seems to understand this as well after what I've said. And sign protest has already died from her tongue, and she simply looks at the taser quietly. After a moment, she just nods. Beyond the walls of this room, the cries continue to grow louder, and I take it as a sign to leave. Without another word, I slip out of the door. Like a siren call, her voice beckons. Find out who that is. Seems a good place to start as any. I keep to the shadows for the most part. Not that there is a need to, the entire place just feels empty. Also, when a house this big should have a large staff. You'd think there would be one or two roaming about for some late night chores or someone seeking out whoever is creating this ruckus. There is none, however.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
Unless their security means the butler, for I doubt scumbag's that sloppy. He loves his life more than anything. Probably more than his own wife. And the things he's done, he's bound to make more than one an enemy or two. He's also the kind who will do anything to keep himself safe. Alive.
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
Potential danger side, being on my own grounds, being greater degree of mobility, which I'm more comfortable with. Sure, I could have enlisted McCullough's help. Next to the people who owns this, she's probably the one who's most familiar with the mansion. But the cons of bringing her outweigh the pros. She's better off somewhere, a quick exit inside. With no tag along, I only have to worry about myself, watch my back. Selfish, I know.
But necessary.
In the same manner this whole plan is, no matter how idiotic going into this is. Besides, I don't need a guide when the house's layout is very simple, almost mirrored with only a few modifications in the rooms. Although I've only been here once, I think I already have a good grasp of this place's ins and outs. As long as you can tell which is east and west, it shouldn't be hard to find my way around. After the dining room, the main foyer should be the next thing that greets me, where the woman's cries are leading me. Honestly, after what happened outside, I'm not even sure if I should be trusting what I'm hearing. But with the whole house somehow seemingly devoid of any of its inhabitants, I'm inclined to look into this. More than surviving this curse, a huge part of this is my training speaking.
I just hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
But nothing's ever that simple, isn't it? Not when you're dealing with the supernatural. Nope. Because as soon as my feet cross to the next room, something shifts. What the fuck? In a flash. Nearly without fanfare. It happens in a blink of an eye, I almost miss it. One moment, there's dread. In the next, I'm standing alone in the foyer. For a brief instant I paused, glancing wildly around the place, blinking twice as if my movements would spur the vision back. Yet, nothing. No blood dripping on the walls, none trailing down the stairs or pulled on the floor, no eyes watching my every movement. I mean, yeah, my every movement. Probably. Only the same cries gradually growing in intensity the longer dying, along with a voice.
Mother,
Desperate.
where are you, Mother?
Okay, that sounded a lot of like Hannah. Pleading.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
She really sounds like her. Coming from the same direction I've heard these cries from. Upstairs. Oh. The place is not entirely empty then. A better question now is who? Definitely not Scumbag or the butler. I've yet to see either nor heard of them, and not knowing their whereabouts puts me on the edge. I have to be careful, very careful, not to make any noise or be seen. Maybe the wife, for one can't really tell if it's her, the way the walls echo her voice. Nevertheless, it pushes me to move, taking almost 2 steps at a time, despite the sinking feeling that something's lurking behind every great shadow, every small corner I pass. As if the house has several eyes watching my every movement. As if something alive dwells behind the walls itself. Oh, for fuck's sake, this again. It's that room, isn't it? I try to shake it off. But the uneasy sensation has already made home in the pit of my stomach dread, and it only grows deeper the closer I get to her. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either, neither does the harsh wind battering the windows, nor the sheets of the rain pelting down the roof. Why are the windows open? For a few seconds I was wishing for Scumbag to simply show up.
I understand why, kind of.
I don't get too far down into that train of thought. Abruptly the cries stop, replacing it with,
Mother, please. She's here. She's here, Mother. She's going to take me.
who's he? What?
She won't leave, Mother.
What the hell is this about?
I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away.
Wait a second. Is there another person to this? Like, one is haunting, and the other is haunted, but he's already a ghost, something like that.
Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
That can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving before any sense can catch up or doubt creeps up to me. My hands ready at the holster as I hastily settle for the far side of the hall. One alarm footstep and another, while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. A door lies ajar at the end of the and coming from the floor above.
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
I do not hesitate. Moving despite the lack of light, the steep stairs, or the thick layer of dust, keying up with my every step. I paused in a moment upon reaching the top. Then, without wasting a second, I pushed the door open. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she has heard neither of my footsteps. Who the hell are you? Nor the soft creaking of the door, continuing undisturbed, like I'm standing in a time far removed from her. She doesn't even flinch when I call out to her.
Hey, are you alright?
Mother! I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Belatedly, I notice the blood on her hands. If it's the same one drenching the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room has ended up like this is the least of my problems at the moment. Even a single human body doesn't have this much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Does Wright even know about this? Is bad news alright, but this is beneath him. He will definitely balk at first sight of it. Anyone will. Yet the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight, letting her sobs fill the room, repeating the words over and over again like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mass of parchment she has left on the floor. Just what the hell is happening?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of the question never makes it out. I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware on guard, really. But there's little I can do when a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble. The moment alone sends me reading forward. It barely even registers in my head that the woman's gone and the room's as normal as it can be. Not above the pain suddenly shooting up my side when I hit the floor. I don't even get a chance to get my bearings back when a hard enough blow to the stomach causes me to buckle down and land heavily on my knees. Gasping, I fumble wildly for my gun. I will fall before I can to turn, level it, and shoot, and hand grabs my wrist and twists it. Hard. A gasp. A grunt. A cry of pain slips past my mouth. The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. As soon as it lands, a foot kicks it out of my reach and slides uselessly under the bed. A gun suddenly explodes in my chin, jerking loose a sharp cry of pain and stirs fill the edges of my vision. A brief moment of regret hits me for leaving my taser with my collar when a piece of glow closes around my neck. Without warning, my attacker pulls tight. I'm left grasping, choking, and clawing for air, blind reaching behind me as I still try to find him off and losing the pressure on my neck. Except any sort of movement only causes him to pull it out.
My, so many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
You? Writes Butler. Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hannah, right?
Let go, you asshole.
Now, Dummkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
The pain rings and resonates through my already short body. Still I managed to ride it out and spit them out with nose.
You.
Keep that dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney. I assure you it will be more painful than this.
He really doesn't need to threaten me by now. It's all too much to bear at this point. My lungs feel like they're burning with the lack of air. Dark spots begin to fill the edges of my vision. Ever so slowly, the world around me dims. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me, and without meaning to it.
Get away from him!
Hearing that voice, it's as if I've been those with a bucket full of ice, cold water, familiar, too familiar. And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be here. Immediately, my eyes snap open. And right there, right on that thing's doorway, stands Isabella of all people. A rolling pin on one hand and the Stanley Shoe Police taser on the other, my taser. She must have borrowed it from Marcelo. Where else could she have gotten one? I doubt she has ever used one. Even hell, the way she holds it right now, this guy can easily disarm her in one hit. But there is something in her. The item in the left hand, this is the danger for the guy. In her eyes. Although there's a look of fear in them and her hand shakes, she keeps the weapon trained and pointed at the scumbag's Lucky. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave her here without putting up a fight. It seems admirably, but it's just not something we need right now. I need her to be away from here. I need her safe. But the chance of that happening grows slim with every laughter that slips from him.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. The Bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know. Tell me, how many of you are there? So I can prepare the proper number of bags.
Damn it! What the fuck is going on? Why is she here in the first place? Did she follow after me? Who else came with her? Zach? Rebecca? Are they all here? Panic surges within me. She knows how bad the situation is, but did she really have to run here and expose herself like that? Does she even know how to use a taser? For fuck's sake, more than worrying for my life, it's her I'm concerned about. Getting strangled, dying by choking isn't part of the plan, but her following me here isn't either. This is why I prefer to do things alone. This is why I'd rather be the only one to take the consequences. I don't even want to think what this bastard might do to her after he's done with me. Before my voice comes off nearly a croak, I try to tell her as much. She has to leave. Stay far away from here and these people.
Don't Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Another bout of pain erupts in my side, cutting off my words. A cry of agony bursts from my mouth. I can taste blood in my tongue as I heave. Attempt to get in as much air despite the towel still coiled around my neck.
Ash?
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Get out! 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 Belle!
Don't be stupid! I'm not leaving you here!
He laughs, too cruel, too unforgiving. The way each note beats against my ears, in spite of the warmth in them, sends chills down my spine. This is a man whose hands have already been stained with blood before. He won't hesitate.
I'd follow his advice if I were you, little girl. What could you possibly do with a toy? Just hand it over and be on your way. It'll probably be too difficult for a little girl like you to use.
There is a moment of silence. Fuck, I can barely keep my eyes open. But in the second though, I still don't exactly understand what's happening. Isabella shouts. Not a cry of pain. Not a yell of panic. But one that's resolute. Firm. Perhaps in a tone that leaks fiercer than I've heard from her before.
Try me! Ashton, duck!
How? I do. More out of instinct and desire to survive, closing my eyes before my mind can fully process what's going on. It all happens in a blur. The telltale sound of taser being discharged resounds through the room. There crackles. Something whizzes by, almost too close to my ear, followed by the toot of something blunt connecting solidly with another object. Next thing I know, the towel strangling me has started to loosen. I collapse on the floor, dazed and gasping for air. From my peripheral, through the haze of blood rushing and sound slowly filtering back, the butler buckles. He spasms once. Then Batman's falls face first beside me. Knocked unconscious by 50 tons moles of electricity and a fucking rolling pin. He'll be out for a while. But you know what? It would be safer to tie him to something, for example that bed. I had no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that. Somewhere in front of me, my oxygen-deprived brain vaguely registers Isabella's form. She slumps on the floor, also breathing heavily. Right next to her trembling hands, both the taser and the rolling pin lie useless and forgotten while the mood in the room eases. A long gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds we remain quiet, with only our short gasps and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline ebb away and both our breathing to slow. Not reposed by enemies, but simply a brief respite. There is still the curse. We're still inside the mansion, in imminent danger. We still have no idea how to fix this. Outside, the rain seems to only intensify. Lightning flashes fleetingly somewhere, white and piercing, and the sky rumbles. No rest for the wicked! I stir first. Once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving, although every small motion causes winds. They will be raising tomorrow, I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy, but only with some effort. I'm able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of the handcuff on his wrist while fastening the other on the bed frame. That should keep him restrained for a few hours in case he wakes up prematurely. All through this, Isabella stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't even moved since. Her hands still shake and in long draws of breath, while she stares vacantly in front of her, as if she's in shock. Perhaps she isn't even expecting any result, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have time to wait for everything to register in our heads. Leaning in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. We can't stay here.
Slowly she turns, staring at me with wide eyes, worry fingers rippling them along with something ineffable. Then, without warning, she lifts a hand and slaps me right across the face. Ouch. The sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like a fragile glass, breaking. Despite the familiar rumble of thunder outside, it managed to ring louder above the storm. I don't know what hit me, until my head has already snapped back and my cheek stings with her anger. And it is anger. In spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterwards, never fuming, but the kind that burns slightly and soundlessly. A frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides there is only that gleam in her eyes, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly I brace myself for the truth under riveted gaze. It slips from lips softly, nearly fading under the sound of the rain still falling fast, if not for the wave in each of her words.
What is wrong with you?
Belle,
If Zach didn't slip up, no one would have known where you went.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and
You almost died. He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died.
I told Zach to give me 4 hours. That would have been enough time to...
It would have been too late. And by the time anyone ever finds out, you're already fertilizer.
She trails off drugs, one in thrown breath after another, every fool as her frustration finally gives, dissolves into something more pensive and sombre. Her shoulders drop, and for her voice rises hoarse and weary in her next words their only certainty.
You count too, you know. When I said, that night when I told you I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you, alive. We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once the dreaming fall roar, it does so not with force of the dawn-breaking or raging storm, but with the gentle, steady warmth of a hearth, burning, an ember easing slowly, gently rising and reaping until all that's left is the truth and understanding. Not alone. Never alone. It lingers, even as we both drift back into silence and her words take root, because in the gratitude that swells after is another world blooming. Pleasant, welcoming, like finding home, like finding ourselves in the haze that school has left, creating something fragile yet immutable in both of us. It's in her eyes, in the way she holds my gaze, unwavering, in the way she carries herself despite sitting amidst a place she fears. In the way she keeps herself from trending and falling apart because fear. Fear is inconsequential when people she cares about are at the risk. A change. She rises back now, holds onto it. Another little thing, another small thing from her, that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but began to matter to me one day until... Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips as the same warmth from earlier unfolds in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all these years I've carried it, but have never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton. I'm not done scolding you.
But this time by comedy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up just as she extends a hand towards my face, catching her wrist in a light grip, drawing closer and folding her hand in between mine. Although her expression does shift into mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting, she simply starts me sketching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close, it tells you how far things have really shifted in the past few years. Shrouded in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors has already subsided by now, for I doubt it will fade away this soon. Even as I trace the lines of her palm, and what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry, Belle.
For what? Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later, when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this. It's for a lot of things. For calling you clumsy, and careless, and a scatterbrain.
Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too. For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
Unexpectedly, her fingers tight around mine, our hands falling between us as something tender shifts in the air. Another exhale. Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainties. But when I finally choose to break silence, it's only when I know that what will slip past my mouth is the one truth I will hold against the world.
But for all those callous words, despite all those, there's nothing I don't love about you.
Whoa! Yowza! Okay.
In fact, those things, I love those.
I don't know why I was about to read it, but...
And everything. Everything that's you.
Oh boy! For a long moment she offers no response, her grip on my hands merely tightens. Although my heart's pounding, hurt against my ears, I take a chance and look up. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. Instead, I find her on the brink of tears, with an almost unreadable expression on her face. When she lets my eyes on her, she hastily reaches up and wipes it with the back of her hands. It does not keep them from falling, and soon they trail down her cheeks despite her best attempts. To say this is punning shooting right up at the base of my throat is a complete understatement. This isn't how I expected this to go.
Hey, Belle, did I say something wrong?
Why would you? I don't even have anything.
What?
I don't have anything.
So what?
I'm not rich. I live off instant noodles almost every day.
And?
I can't do anything properly without someone helping me. Except maybe if it's drawing, but that's beside the point.
So?
I didn't even get to graduate, even if I was so close. I'm not even sure that scholarship will get me anywhere. And...
Again, so what?
Ever since I came here, in the 5 years you've known me, I've got us into all kinds of trouble.
Fine by me.
So why would you even say that? I'm not...
Maybe it's the moment itself that spurs me to it. The desperation and the fear of almost dying. That I've already said more than what I usually allow myself, and I might as well finish before I lose my nerve. No matter the reason, I reach out for her. Gently, so unlike the way she barged into our life so many years ago. The way she came in would leave a terrible impression on anyone, really, and yet it's people like her that you don't easily forget. It's them that gradually warms. Worms? Hey, come on! That's not the worms you wanted to use, okay? Not oh, hey, damn it! Oh my god, you destroyed the moment, young mobile, with that. Until the very thought of losing them becomes unbearable. Visible trace of once my palms brushes against her tear-stained cheeks, but she neither pulls away nor pushes my hands off. Rather, she looks at me wide-eyed, with another searching look. I only have one swear for that. Huh.
It doesn't matter. All of that is still you, and that's enough for me.
No promises, only truths. Perhaps the only genuine thing I can offer her at the moment. We don't even know what would happen, or if we will ever survive this. I mean, technically, I think even would work more better here. Never mind. So instead of words, I lean in, our foreheads briefly touching, before brushing my lips tenderly against hers. The kiss is nothing intimate by any means. Right. I understand everything, but I think that's not really the proper place to do that right now, you know? I would say you should go out. There's a brief second as our lips touch when she tenses, unsure, a long moment not knowing what to do with her hands, until she settles them on me. Slipping it up my arm is in light grip, too afraid to make a mistake or hurt. But for now, it's enough. It's the closest we can come to it. Rather than give out empty promises or grand proclamations, we have this. Instead of words. Something she soon understands as her shoulders ease and she permits me to draw her closer, deepening the kiss. Softly and gently, a short second of simply allowing the world to melt away around us and this to roar above anything else. Like a verbal thing between us that has built up to this one single point in time. A moment that becomes ours and ours alone. Something to hold close until all of this is over. Okay, can we get out of this damn room already? We part later to the sounds of the words rushing back around us. Thunder, rain, lightning, all to remind us both of the reality we have to face. Enough to dampen the mood and force back the worry I've temporarily forgotten. Yet when I glance back at Isabella, all she has for me is a small smile, bright and hopeful. And it is strength enough. One that I try to draw from, when I raise my forehead against hers one last time before leading us both out, her hand in mine. Right, because I don't like the sound of it. And I guess we got out of that damn room. Let's end the episode.
And we'll see where this is going tomorrow. In the next episode. Bye-bye.